Hello there, it's the afternoon of the 3rd of December. This is Andrew Mount for GG. I'm off to Wolverhampton shortly and I wanted to talk to you about some of the other races there that I haven't covered in my blog. Now we start at 3:45 with a classified contest over the extended mile. Now on Saturday night there was an obvious dead rail bias, whereas if you were racing on the inside you were in big trouble because the surface was deeper. The same bias cropped up on Monday afternoon and I'm hoping it's going to be evident again tonight. No guarantee of that, but certainly this autumn at the majority of meetings you haven't wanted to be anywhere near the inside. Similar to Lingfield, which is something I'll talk about in tomorrow's video. Now, Hot Fort, the short price favourite, round about 5 to 4, is drawn in stall 1. That would normally lead me looking for the lay button, but he's ridden by Jason Hart. Hart was seen to good effect from the front in Saturday night's finale, making all on Big Les, deliberately steering his mount away from the inside, as Luke Morris had done when winning the previous race on Sir Mark Prescott's runner. So with this one having recorded a much better last time out speed figure than his rivals when second at Newcastle last time out, I think Hart will be able to bounce him out, get him off the rail and make all on Hot Fort. I don't want to take the risk and back him at 5 to 4, but that's the way I saw the race unfolding. Moving on to 4:15. This is quite an interesting race despite it just being a claimer, because I wanted to take on the second favourite, and I'm going to have to reference the laptop here because I'm struggling to remember the name. That's number 4, Azeka-Gar-Boogli. I think I've said that right. Visored first time, usually makes the running, trained by Mike Murphy, ridden by Josephine Gordon. Now he's probably going to ping out from stall 5, get across to that inside. Now, if Josephine Gordon is aware of the bias and wants to keep him off the fence, she might struggle because there are other front runners on her outside. So I'm hoping she's going to get pressure to her immediate right, forced towards the inside, as often happens at sunny Southwell. So this one's 9 to 2 in the win market, but if he's going to end up on the inside, he's probably going to be unplaced. So my plan here would be to lay him in the place market 3 places round about the 5 to 4 mark. As for who's going to win it, probably the favourite, Unforgiving Minute. He's drawn in stall 11, but he's better than these. He's got enough early speed and tactical speed to get across, sit second, third or fourth on the heels of the leaders and hopefully stay off the inside. Now the 5:15 is a race I've touched on in my blog. I've tipped one here and that's Storm Ahead. 11 to 4 into 15 to 8 in places now. Trained by Tim Easterby. He's ran cracking races on his 2 visits here, doing best of the closers when second over the extended mile in October, and then last time out winning well over today's trip of 9.5 furlongs, clocking a good time in the process. He likes to come late off a good pace. With only 6 runners, you'd think maybe that's dangerous backing him in a small field, but you've got out-and-out front runner Michaeli Strogoff in opposition. It's an apprentice race, so they tend to go astride quicker than they should in the early stages anyway. So I'm hoping things are set up nicely for the closer, and that's likely to be Storm Ahead. Now the 5:45 is a good 5 furlong handicap. Stacks of pace on here, even accounting for the wide-drawn non-runner who also liked to race handy. Now the one I've tipped in my blog is one who's got the widest draw, that's 3 Little Birds. However, she tends to come from off the pace or at least sit in, just behind it, and I think it's going to be set up nicely for it if she can just get across from stall 10 and sit 3 wide. So 3 Little Birds. I'm probably going to save on Union Rose, who won the race a couple of years ago. He's never been the easiest to predict, but he has got a good overall record over course and distance, and Ron Harris's runners have been going well here of late. Moving on to 6:15, this looks super tricky. 6 furlong handicap, no obvious pace. So it's a case of whoever's going to make it could be vulnerable. Now one who's guaranteed to be held up is Mansfield, the 5 to 1 second favourite. Now he's 0 from 20 on the all-weather, often places though, and I wouldn't put you off backing him place only in the hope that a decent pace does materialise. Brocky Rise from stall 4 is on the shortlist. He goes well in Class 6 company after a recent run within the last 3 weeks. 5 wins from 19 in these conditions and a profit of over £30, trained by David Evans, who's been in good form. That brings us on to another one I like, Our Man Hinavana, trained by Tony Carroll, who's having his first run for the yard. Holly Doyle on board for the Shropshire Wolves, who had a winner here yesterday in the shape of Snow Ocean. Interested to see what the tactics are on this one, but if there's late money for Our Man in Havana, I certainly wouldn't put you off from following it in. But the one that I'm going to take a chance with at a big price is for the Charlie McBride yard, coming out of stall 5, Bond Street Bow. Regular listeners and readers of my blog will know that I'm a big fan of Dandy Man offspring on to Peter, particularly here at Wolverhampton. And he's only had 2 goes here before. One of those he ran respectably in a course and distance handicap, finishing 6th, beating about 3 lengths, just never getting in contention in a race that was run to suit the prominent racers. And he's £6 lower this time around. So 25 to 1 at the moment, generally, Bond Street Bow. If there's any money for him particularly late, then I'll certainly be following it. That's it from me until tomorrow, when I want to talk about Lingfield and a strong all-weather rail bias. I'll catch you then. Cheers.